Hey guys, welcome. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 lifestyle changes that I needed to make that allowed me to quit my bad habits so effortlessly that it was almost like my bad habits quit me. So if you're someone who's struggling with bad habits, then these 3 lifestyle changes are going to help them just drop away from your life effortlessly. And this was a huge problem for me when I was younger. I think I'm someone who has an addictive personality. One of the biggest struggles in my life was just learning how to manage my bad habits, how to get rid of them so that I can realize my full potential. Because if what I was doing is I was just playing video games all day. I loved League of Legends, Dark Souls, Skyrim. Nothing wrong with playing video games, but I was playing them like 12 hours a day. I was smoking way too much weed. I was watching way too much porn, eating junk food, distracting myself on the internet. And these bad habits were really sucking my energy. They were sucking my mood. They were draining my self-confidence. I didn't feel good about myself. And all of that time was being wasted. I could have been meditating or reading books or honing my passion, but instead I was just playing video games all day. So this was a big problem for me that finally I was able to solve by learning these 3 lessons. And first, so when I was 16, the first thing I was trying to do in order to quit my bad habits that I think a lot of people fall into this trap is trying to force yourself to quit the habit. In David Hawkins' book, Power versus Force, he talks about how power is really the only way to get things done in your life. And whenever you're trying to force your life to be a certain way, it will never work. Because whenever you're forcing yourself to do something, you're subconsciously implying that you don't have power. You feel weak. You feel powerless. That's definitely how I felt. I literally felt like I couldn't control my own cravings for video games and for smoking weed. I felt like I had no power, no control over my own cravings. So what I would do is I would force myself to quit. I would uninstall the game off of my computer. I would get rid of all of my weed paraphernalia, like my bongs and stuff like that. And that's actually a good strategy that we're going to talk about in a second, but you can't just get rid of the things. You need to do it from a place where you are in your power. You're making a decision that I'm just going to stop doing this thing. I'm powerful. I have the ability to quit these bad habits. This isn't something that's difficult or hard that I'm struggling to do, but this is something effortless and easy for me. This has to do with just shifting the way you see yourself and the whole situation. So the first lesson I had to learn was when I found this video. I was trying to fix my bad habits, found this video from one of my mentors, Leo. He made a video called Awareness Alone is Curative. And in this video, he talks about how if you want to change your behavior in any way in your life, the first thing you need to do is you need to become aware of yourself while you're doing the behavior. So the lesson I had to learn is I had to stop forcing myself to quit in an unconscious, reactive way. And first, I needed to just learn, why am I doing this bad habit in the first place? I need to actually observe myself doing it. And the way I did that was just by letting myself do the bad habit and enjoying myself. Because remember, the reason why you are doing the bad habit in the first place is because it's giving you some kind of reward. You like it. And you need to first admit to yourself that whatever bad habit you've been guilting yourself for doing, whether it be smoking a cigarette or smoking weed or watching porn, there's a lot of guilt surrounding these behaviors. First, just admit to yourself that you like it. And there's nothing wrong with you for doing it. Just enjoy it. I'm going to have a nice cigarette right now. I'm going to jack off to some porn. I'm going to smoke some weed. I'm going to play 12 hours of video games. I'm going to eat some pizza, some gross, disgusting food. First, admit to yourself that I like this thing. There's nothing wrong with me for liking pizza. Pizza's tasty. Porn is stimulating. Video games are fun. Weed makes you feel good. It's okay. So admit to yourself, okay, I like this thing. I'm going to let myself do it. And I'm going to have fun while I'm doing it, with the caveat that I'm going to be aware while I'm doing it. I'm going to observe. What's my trigger? What triggers me to do this thing? So for me, for example, I found that whenever I felt angry or something went bad in my life, there was something I didn't want to face, or especially if I felt like other people didn't like me, like if someone made fun of me or something, or I just wasn't getting enough validation from my social group, one thing I would do is I would get triggered to watch porn because that made me feel validated. It would just kind of really bring me in my body, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I needed to do in that moment. That was the only way that I knew how to cope with that feeling. So your trigger is that there's a feeling and you don't know how to cope with it. So your coping mechanism is a toxic habit. So obviously porn is you can't do that all the time. It's going to drain you of your energy. It's going to mess up your sexual cravings. So I know I made a video called Watching Porn is Not Bad. It's not bad. There's nothing bad about it, but it's not a very healthy way to cope with your emotions, and you would actually feel a lot happier in the long run if you could let it go by having more awareness. So I had to recognize my trigger, and what I would actually do is I would just let myself do the thing until I got sick of doing it. This is what also Leo calls burning through your karma. And this is something I've discovered for myself in my life, that this is exactly how it works for me. I have to let myself do the thing so much. I have to play so many video games until my actual eyes are burning because I've been looking at the screen so much that I'm actually sick of it. And this is actually a good thing, because you're going to learn what happens when you are addicted to this thing. You're going to actually take it to the excess to where you actually feel experientially why it's not good for you. Because if you're resisting yourself, if you're like putting a cap on your video games where it's like, I'll only let myself play for 1 hour a day, then I'll just guilt myself and get off the game, and then just think about it for the rest of the night. The problem is, if you're capping yourself, if you're resisting yourself, what's happening is you're not actually letting yourself learn that this behavior is toxic. You need to actually take the behavior to the end until you actually realize, okay, like, if you're addicted to drinking soda, go drink 4 sodas until you actually feel like fucked. Like you actually have that sugar high and you feel retarded. And your teeth are rotting. And guys, obviously, if you're a heroin addict, this isn't going to work. You're going to need some help. This works very well for habits that are only mildly unhealthy, like playing video games or watching porn or even eating junk food. Obviously, it's not good for you, and I don't want you to be, eating 20 pizzas a day. That's not, healthy for you, obviously. But the point is you have to learn that it's not healthy for you. I can't just tell you, because the problem is you know theoretically that cigarettes are bad for you, but you don't know experientially because you're unconscious, you're not aware, you're not actually paying attention to your sensations. So in life, all of life is basically just energy management. And energy is, another word for sensation. So in your life, it's just stimulus response. That's what all of, biology, this is what organisms do. This is what you do all day. Stimulus response. You have some kind of way that you feel, some kind of emotion, and then you try and manage it. You want to get the emotion away. So I have a craving. That's an emotion. I want to neutralize the craving because it feels uncomfortable to crave something. So the way you neutralize the craving is by getting the cheesecake that you're craving. So all of life, it's just energy management. You need to learn how to manage your energy consciously instead of unconsciously. Because unconsciously is just toxic habits. So I'm bored. This is energy. It's just stimulus. There's boredom, discomfort. So unconsciously, I'm just going to go play 12 hours of video games. Unconsciously, like on autopilot. That's my natural response when I was younger, because that's what I learned to do. Ever since I was 6 or 7 years old, I have a Game Boy with Pokemon. I just play video games whenever I was bored. So I needed to learn how to cope with boredom consciously by meditating and raising my awareness and watching myself. A great way to do that is to check out the guided meditation I have where I teach you how to do the hollow body meditation. If you want to get that guided meditation, you can click the link and it's for free. You can download it and actually learn how to be aware of your body and to actually fill your body with awareness. This is a great exercise for quitting your bad habits. So what I would do is I would do the bad habit until I was sick of it, until my mind actually started to associate that habit with pain. So when I would smoke weed, if I would smoke so much weed that I would actually start to feel crappy. Sometimes I'd have anxiety attacks. Sometimes I would literally throw up. It's called greening out. I would green out, where I would throw up. My head would hurt. And then I would do the thing so much that now my actual subconscious mind would associate this habit with pain. Same with video games. I would play League of Legends for so much that I would get angry. And I would start to feel like cracked. I can't explain. It's a weird feeling, but I would just feel wired all the time. Because when I'm playing League of Legends, it's like I'm in a fight or flight response because I'm, trying to survive in the game. It's like fast-paced combat. So it's like a fight or flight response. And that was like a low consciousness feeling. I didn't like that. But the only way I realized that I didn't like that is by being aware of myself. By practicing some meditation. By experiencing how good it feels to meditate and then realizing that, if I can feel good by just meditating, then why would I feel good by playing video games? So for me, doing the habit until I was sick of it with awareness actually helped me associate the habit with pain instead of with pleasure. Because the problem is your bad habit, you're associating it with pleasure. But if you do it enough, and you actually get sick of it, you're going to start to associate it with pain. And then naturally, it's going to quit itself. You're not going to want it anymore. Nowadays, if someone shows me a pizza, I actually don't even want it because I know it's painful for my body to be in my stomach. It actually hurts my stomach. I don't want that. But I had to learn that experientially by eating a bunch of pizza. I remember once I went to a pizza restaurant and I ate a whole pizza to my face, and then right after I went to a yoga class where I was stretching and being aware. with a whole pizza in my stomach, and then I learned experientially with awareness the pain of eating unhealthy food. So that's the first lesson I had to learn. But still, I couldn't fully let go of my habits until I learned this next lesson, which is how to optimize my environment so that I'm not being triggered with bad habits. So very simple, remove triggers from your environment. So now that you have awareness of what your triggers are, you can just eliminate your environment. Don't eliminate your environment because that's impossible, but eliminate your triggers from your environment. This is what James Clear talks about in his book, Atomic Habits. Amazing book. Guys, by the way, if you ever question where I'm getting this information from, I'm not pulling this stuff out of my ass. A lot of it's coming from research that I do and also my own experience. Okay, so this is scientific, reputable sources. You have to optimize your environment, okay? That means get rid of triggers. If you're smoking weed all day, you're trying to quit, stop buying weed. Why do you have weed around? Why do you have a bong around? Stop it. One thing that helps a lot is to clean your environment and to actually change your environment, because your old environment has old habit energy in it. If you clean your room, rearrange the furniture so that you start to, it's new energy. So for me, to quit video games, I had to clean my desk and I had to clean my desktop on my computer. So if you have the League of Legends logo looking you in the face whenever you're trying to do work, how the fuck do you expect to quit your addiction if you're just being triggered to engage in it? So clean your environment. The next lesson that I had to learn, now that my environment's clean, I'm not triggered to do my bad habits. So it's like my bad habits just kind of got up and left. I didn't have to quit them. They quit themselves because they're not even around anymore. They're not even around. They're difficult to access for me. And the good habits, I made them very easy. So for example, I have my journal right beside my bed. So when I journal at night, the journal's right there. It's easy for me to journal. My phone is not anywhere near me at bedtime. So if a bad habit you're trying to quit is checking your phone in the morning, why is your phone around your bed? Get rid of it. So you need to build your infrastructure. Think about creative ways to set up your environment so that it's convenient to engage in good habits and avoid bad habits. And the last lesson I had to learn is I need to start actually implementing good habits that make me feel good and balance my energy so that I don't need the bad habits anymore. Because remember, the bad habits are actually giving you a reward. You're gaining something from them. So how can you gain that same thing in a healthier way? So for example, I was getting social validation by watching porn, and really what it did for me, honestly, was it helped me ground my energy a lot. It helped me just kind of get me out of my mind, my worrying thoughts, and just make me feel good and relaxed. And that's okay. But it's toxic because porn becomes draining for your energy. So what I learned to do instead in order to feel grounded in my body is I exercise every day now. And in order to get that social validation, I make YouTube videos and, help people with my courses. So that's what I do now to gain social validation, and I exercise to get myself in my body. So whenever I feel like I need to be in my body, I just bounce around, basically. I just jump up and down, shake it out, get in my body. So now I learned how to get in my body without watching porn. So I got the same reward, but without the toxic habit that's not sustainable. All right, same with entertaining yourself. Video games. Okay, you're bored at home. How do you deal with boredom? Well, one way that I've done personally is I need to actually do what I'm passionate about full time. So talking about implementing good habits, you're The ability for you to quit your habits is determined by what you're focusing on. So this is why force and resisting the bad habit doesn't work, because you're focusing on quitting. Don't focus on quitting, focus on the new creative thing that you're going to implement in your life. The new meditation habit that you're implementing. Don't worry about quitting your bad habit. Just trust those bad habits are going to quit themselves. You don't have to worry about them. Stop giving them energy by resisting them and thinking about them. Just get rid of them. They're gone. You don't even have to think about it. Remove it out of your environment. Remove it out of your mind. Start focusing on the good habits. Meditation, exercise, diet, the basics, doing what you're passionate about. That's a key habit. If you don't know what you're passionate about, I just released the Crystal Clear Purpose course, which is going to teach you the exact step-by-step process for how I discovered what I'm passionate about and how to actually implement it so I'm doing it for a living. So just as a side note, you can check that out. The course just launched. But you need to be focusing on the positives in your life. Focus on what you want to create, the positive vision that you have. Who you're becoming. Focus on the ideal version of yourself. The way you do this is in the morning, every morning, review your goals. Review your vision. Review your ideal self. So think about, okay, so I have a vision for my life. Who is the ideal self? Who is achieving that vision? What is that person's habits? So you think of Adam 2.0. Adam 2.0 has certain habits that Adam 1.0 doesn't have. He has marketing skills. He makes more consistent videos. He does what he loves. He's not addicted to bad habits. He knows how to manage his energy in a healthy way. He's consistent with his habits, with his morning routine. He's clear about his goals. He's organized, right? So those are habits of Adam 2.0. And now I'm being Adam 2.0. That's what I'm doing. Now I'm Adam 2.0 because I've identified what is Adam 2.0's behavior based on that ideal vision that where I want my life to be. And then how can I mirror that behavior so that it's actually what I am now? And that's how you get habits to effortlessly leave your life, bad habits. Allow them to quit you. So one thing you need to do is another thing you need to do is you need to look at your day. Look at the actual way you've structured your day. It's all about awareness, remember. So one way you can get awareness, I don't know if this is gonna work, guys. Oh my god, this is really makeshift. So look, this is your day, okay? Oh, I don't know if this is gonna work. We got morning. Okay, this is not working. We got the morning here. We have the work. We have rest. And then we have sleep. Okay, this is your day, pretty much. Morning, you work, you rest after work, and then you sleep. Okay? So actually look at your day and actually take a bird's eye view, zoom out, and look, okay, what am I doing first thing in the morning? You have to optimize your morning. What are you doing in the morning? Are you checking your phone? Are you eating an unhealthy breakfast? What are you doing? So I have a whole video where I'll actually link the video for how to manage your routine, where I go into more detail. But optimize your morning. Look at what's your morning now, and how can you turn that into a better morning. And then work as well. So work, okay, you probably can't do much about work, but then you want to look at rest. Okay, how are you resting? What's the ways that you rest? Is it video games and porn and TV and junk food? How can you implement healthier ways to rest? Not force them, not force yourself, but how can you actually find healthy ways that work for you that you naturally want to do? So one way that I reward myself and relax is just by dancing to music. That's a very healthy way to relax and get in my body. Just enjoy and dance to music. What I used to do is watch porn and eat junk food. Now I just dance, put on some Bee Gees, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and just dance. It's way healthier. That's something I like doing. And also, before you go to sleep, think about your sleep habits. Are you looking at blue light? Are you blasting your pineal gland with blue light that prevents it from producing melatonin so you can't sleep properly? Are you reviewing your goals before you go to sleep? Are you visualizing your ideal self? Are you falling asleep in a state of gratitude so that you can program your subconscious mind with the ideal version of yourself? What are you doing in your day? Actually look at your day. Zoom out. You got to observe yourself. That's how you quit your bad habits. And once you observe yourself, there's no need to force. There's no forcing that's happening, resisting, fighting. Not necessary. What you do need to do is just watch. Just watch. Focus on what you want to create. So create an ideal day schedule and just look at it every day. Focus on it. And then do it. Don't focus on you're trying to quit habits. Focus on what do you want. Don't focus on what you don't want. Focus on what do you want. Because remember, in life, you get what you focus on. So if you focus on what you don't want, you get more of what you don't want. But if you focus on what you do want, you get more of what you do want. And the last lesson I had to learn is just to love and accept myself and realize that there's no such thing as failing. You can't fail at quitting your bad habits. There's only, I'm going to succeed now, or I'm going to fail, quote unquote fail, but I'm just going to learn a lesson so that I can succeed later. There's no such thing as failure. There's just lessons. So when I was younger, I would, fail at quitting League of Legends, or I would fail at quitting porn. But now a few years later, here I am, I've quit successfully, and the way I did that because I failed, quote unquote, failed all those times in the past, but those weren't really failures, they were learning lessons. So let yourself learn the lesson by being aware and accepting and loving yourself and focusing on what you do want as opposed to what you don't want. All right, guys, those are the ways of how I got my habits to quit me. If you want the free guided meditation for raising your awareness, click the first link in the description. It's super powerful. The Crystal Clear Purpose course just released. You can get it on sale for the next few days. It's super powerful. Even if it's not on sale, it's a super amazing course. Lots of value for your buck for discovering your passion, creating a high vision for yourself, and then actually becoming that version of yourself and programming your subconscious mind so that it's effortless, so that you can embody it, so that you're not falling off the bandwagon up and down, but you're actually consistent, right? That's what I teach you how to do in that 7-day program. Check it out, links in the description. And the next video you can watch actually is how I quit my bad habits by loving them to death. This is more of this if you need some more help with your bad habits. It's exactly what I talk about in my how I quit my bad habits by loving them to death. Check that video out there. You can also check out the morning routine video that I made, the daily schedule. I'll link that right here in the end card, and I'll see you in the next video.